Hello anybody who's watching this. Welcome to my reaction to Wizardry 8 review, Extreme Roleplaying. Extreme trademark, role-playing trademark. On the thumbnail there are a lot of people. The video by Seth Zintak. Something like that. Yeah. On the thumbnail there are quite a lot of people. There's an internet historian and the other people that I'm starting that video with. I know their names by heart, like that appear usually in Sundance Rejects, or maybe on his second channel. So familiar faces, if you will, but not familiar names for me. But I have no idea what this is, so I'm doing this on my own. Nobody recommended this, but if you want to recommend me a video, you can use my donation link in the description below, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Probably tomorrow. You'll see. Let's begin.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be breaking away from tradition. I'll be covering some old-ass game that's probably very obscure, long, frustrating, dehumanizing, but also very fun. Ask yourself, have you ever wanted to experience the role-playing equivalent of poisoning yourself repeatedly
I am afflicted
for many weeks?
I got dibs on his stuff.
Until you gradually build up a tolerance for self-inflicted pain and suffering. You see, much like eating a bag of raw potatoes, do it in one go and you might die, but do it gradually and you might live. Keep at it and you might just start enjoying it. I present to you Wizardry 8, released in 2001 by the Canadian government. Wizardry 8 is one of the finest torture devices to be released on the personal computer. Wizardry 8 takes place in the Dragon Ball Z extended universe. You and your party are space-traveling aliens hired by the Wookiees to retrieve all 3 remaining Dragon Balls, the Astral Domine, the Chaos Malari, and the Destiny Dominus, and use them to ascend as literal gods and reshape the universe. Ascension takes place on a planet called Dominus. Unfortunately, the process of ascension has been complicated by the involvement of a dark savant, who, to put it simply, is Space Hitler, setting up an interplanetary anti-Semitic blockade around Dominus. Unfortunately, your ship bears the Mark of David and is quickly shot out of the sky, forcing you to make a crash landing. All things considered, that's not too bad. Except, Space Hitler has also rigged the planet with a nuclear payload that is large enough to glass the entire surface, in case anyone who isn't Space Hitler tries to ascend. I hope you're following all this, because this is just the intro. And now I'm going to quickly summarize the plot to help you understand how amazing this game is. Space Hitler is not very popular. As a result, he loses the only Dragon Ball he has to the Italian Mafia, because he neglected to pay their godfather, Don Barlone. By the way, the Italian Mafia in this game is composed of rats and speak in an Italian-American accent.
Me? I'm always in top form, not just Ratkin. Razooka, pal! Yeah, the Order of Tar. You might consider us a family of sorts.
Don Barlone switches out the Astral Domine with a shiny salt lick. The melanated master finds out and has an autistic tantrum in front of you. You'll come to find this is a common theme. You take the imitation and buy the real thing. It costs most of your life savings, so instead of paying, you might try and whack him instead. Luckily, the best tricks are so nice that they work twice. First, you gotta get chummy with the Umpani or the Trang. This is the choice between authoritarian rhinos or literal bugmen that reproduce faster than India. I usually roll Umpani because we share a common bond in our attraction to anthropomorphic rhino girls. Siding with one of those lets you visit the local Wookiee embassy to have a look at their Chaos Malari. And by having a look at their Chaos Malari,
he seems like an honest, trusting guy, and those are my favorite kinds of people.
I mean, snatching it in front of them, apologizing sincerely, and then replacing it with a knockoff glass bulb. Then you gotta find the Destiny Dominus, which is really the search for enlightenment. As the source of all knowledge in the universe, you find it naturally by consuming a lot of psilocybin, DMT, and ayahuasca. So you can project yourself to a higher plane of consciousness and talk with Joe Rogan. With all 3 Dragon Balls in your dragon sack, there's still the small matter of nuclear oblivion. So you gotta go up north and offer your sweet body to a goat demoness. This game was very progressive impressive for its time, because Alcedexis is fiercely heterosexual and rejects the very concept of scissoring. She also rejects the concept of monetizable content, because her milk jugs are anything but modest. Anyway, to disarm the bomb, you have to get inside it. How? By breaking and entering into people's bedrooms.
Monetizable content, said the person who said Space Hitler. Oh, that sounds weird coming out of my mouth. Hitler? Space Hitler. Why is that weird? Anyway, 1,500 times.
Disarm the bomb, you have to get inside it. How? By breaking and entering into people's bedrooms, because, logically speaking, one of them is bound to have a direct access interdimensional portal into the bomb, which can be disabled by pressing random keys and getting lucky. With the bomb no longer armed, you smack the savant, leaving him disarmed. The savant dies, but in his death reveals to you the ultimate truth, that he's been using a voice changer on Discord this whole time, and he's not actually that dark. The end. Any questions? No? Then in that case, welcome to Wizardry 8. I love this game. Now let's talk about playing it. To play, you need to make a party. From characters, you make yourself. If I said there's a lot of options, that would be an understatement. You can be anything you want to be. Humans, non-humans, subhumans, furries, scalies, more furries, and even short kings. There's so many short kings in this game, you can pick by your...
First of all, is Jorgen short? I actually have no idea. The other thing is that I guess there won't be anybody from those people on thumbnail. There will be just cameos as an pictures. Okay.
Your preferred size. Anything from 5'11" kings to a 5'10" pocket prince, who are so light at this point they get carried away by the wind. Race. Is there a link between race and I? There's 11 races, and that's only including ones you can pick. There's about 16 in total. Do anything you want to do, and I mean it. I don't care how many classes your game has, because Wizardry 8 has 15, including, but not limited to, fighters, which fight, Valkyries, which fight using female privilege to avoid death, ninjas, which fight with the empty space representing their lack of contribution to the team until 2 weeks into the average game. However, if you rolled a fairy ninja, congratulations, because your pocket prince can now solo the entire game. Alchemist makes potions and breaks the economy by making infinite potions you can sell for infinite money, letting you buy everything in the entire game. 10 out of 10, working as intended. Gadgeteer, who uses an unconventional form of weaponry. A gun. But that's the boring part. The interesting part is overloading a microwave in a monastery, ripping out the microwave chip, and using it to give your enemies brain tumors. Gadgets are essentially random pieces of trash duct taped together to inexplicably cause widespread devastation. And if you think that sounds ridiculous, then let me tell you about the bard. In most games, a bard plays music, keeps up morale, and probably cooks and cleans for the party as well. In Wizardry 8, the droning melody of a bard's bagpipe brings pandemonium, the plucking of his harp causes cerebral hemorrhaging, and the blowing of his horn results in nuclear fallout. Building the optimal six-man party is difficult. Explaining is difficult, and we don't have time. Here's my build. Follow it, copy it, enjoy it. It's very powerful, very well-rounded, and gives you a complete first experience of a game. By the way, this game's got a lot of voice dialogue.
I've got a surprise for you. Stand still so you can get it between the eyes.
Surprising for the game that old.
Most of it comes from your own party.
I almost feel normal.
There's 18 different personalities for each gender.
There will be many implements of destruction at my disposal, yeah?
Which is 36 fully voiced personalities in total.
Yeah, slice 'em, dice 'em, no sense being nice to 'em. That's my motto.
And that's absolutely nuts. Now, on to the fun stuff. I present to you all my current party. That's right, I manually imported all this to work inside the game. By the way, they're fully animated. The portrait's not even that bad. But manually animating the eyes and mouth? Yeah, that took a while. As our first fighter, we got Internet Historian. Physically, he's a giant. Mentally, he's...
Ah, a trap. I wonder what would happen if I just pulled this thing here.
He's very stable. Mr. Mandalore as our second fighter, whose voice I absolutely adore.
How exciting. I think I'm improving. Oh no. More people. They just keep coming. And
Such
coming,
emotional
I'm
response.
getting stressed.
It's just so expressive. As
Yeah,
our morally
it's
bankrupt,
awesome.
backstabbing, conniving, and scheming Jew. We got my man Uber Danger as a rogue who sounds
I don't know who that
exactly
is.
as he does in real life.
I'd rather be recognized with cash, but a rise in status will do. Oh, yeah. This is amazing. Nothing special. Yeah, probably worthless. I'll just
Tsundere.
hang on to it for us. You go on and fight. I'll guard the rear.
For spellcasters, I put Frederick Knudsen as our resident psionic. There's
Seen
nothing
him
wrong
before?
with him. He's actually the most well-adjusted of the entire group.
Gotcha! I am glad to be alive again, though the stillness of death was not totally objectionable.
Also, I put him as female. Sorry,
I can
Fred
tell.
baby, but the best jewelry in this game is for girls. And we need to min-max. Myself as the party's dark, brooding alchemist.
Ordinary men fear the power of darkness. I revel in it.
Who, over the
Sounds
course of the story,
the
has
same
been
as the
one-shot
video.
many times.
The dead guy! What was his name?
Thanks so very much. Why did you tear me from death's sweet embrace?
And finally, Ken Ashcorp as our local priest.
Be careful!
Don't think I know who
I
that is either.
can't believe we're wasting time talking to a chipmunk!
Who's also
Big,
completely
stupid
unhinged.
jellyfish.
I did originally consider adding Pyrocynical to the team, but unfortunately, YouTube does
Yes?
not let me feature minors in this video. There's a lot to do in Wizardry. Explore amazing places, visit the swamp, catch malaria, climb a tree, get body blocked for hours by hamsters, go to the only functional city in the game, with a grand total population of about 12 people, get harassed by Space Hitler and the
Rubber City.
androids of the Fourth Reich, head to the bar, get blackmailed, go to the bank, because of course it's still open, go to the airport, because why not? Because this is the one game where you can talk to a starship and tell it to go fuck itself. The dialogue system in this game is nothing short of amazing. You have to manually write down, memorize, and figure out the keywords for conversational topics you're interested in. The game will then try to identify your intent and produce you a fully voiced answer.
Amusing yourself, are you?
There's not many NPCs in this game, but I remember every single one of them. Whether it's the Umpani and their militaristic tendencies,
Oh, come on now, stupid thing. Get in there. Perfect. Oh, no. Oh, no.
the slick-talking
Okay.
Don Barlone of the Razuka,
We keep our end of the deal, you know. But he slips town before he pays our fee. So, we're here to collect. But he ain't gonna pay. That ain't a problem. We got
Definitely
cash,
Italian Mafia.
and you get your prize. And the Dark Savant gets shafted.
or even your own biological daughter, conceived as a result of sleeping around with demons, because their voice acting is absolutely fantastic. Some can even be convinced to join your party. Unfortunately, most of them are highly superstitious of their own planet, and won't go where you want them to.
You know what, boys? This place reminds me of a song I wrote called I Ain't Going There No Way, No How.
The workaround to this is running them to exhaustion with a heavy backpack, knocking them unconscious, and forcibly dragging them past the load screen. Once they wake up, they'll complain and bitch about this breach of consent, which is why people generally avoid them, except RFS-81, who is the best boy, because, unlike everyone else, he's not programmed to be a bitch. Quests are also equally brilliant, until you get stuck, until you get frustrated and desperate enough to read the damn walkthrough instead. There's no shame in that, because I do it. And I finished the game twice. Some of my favorite quests include protecting a verified Twitter user from hateful comments online by crushing someone into meat paste after luring them in using the sweet aroma of a female girl, getting motion sickness from the mine tunnels, and of course retrieving the black box flight recorder of a crashed ship so you can triangulate the position of Space Hitler's ship and use a heavy surface-to-air battery to shoot him out of the sky.
3, 2, 1, firing.
That's a big boy. Oop.
Yeah, this game goes 0 to 100 real fast. Anyway, let's get
Sure
back to
does.
something sensible, like using medieval weaponry to kill fantasy
Can you really
creeps.
say that when the video began with Space Hitler? Why do I say it that way? It's so weird.
The biggest part of this game, from beginning to end, from the moment you wake up on that beach to the moment you pass out each day from exhaustion, is combat. This game has a lot of fighting. A lot of fighting. The hardest thing in this game is to simply walk unmolested through a short forest trail, which is physically impossible because every step of the way you'll be harassed, molested, and physically assaulted by the entire regional populace. Should you survive your first experience of the great outdoors, you'll reach Arnica, the first city in the game. And don't worry, that's where I also let my guard down, sleeping with a door open, peeking out from a dusty window, only to catch a faint glimpse of moving pixels in your peripheral vision. I'm very sorry, but you're now in combat with the entire city, because even civilization is an unstoppable barrage of random encounters. To understand my frustration, here's an example. Previously, I have walked 5 meters on a tropical island, got jumped by crustaceans, walked 5 meters back because I realized I was going the wrong way, got jumped by more crustaceans, only to walk forward again and get jumped by the same group of crustaceans which have now respawned. This wouldn't be so bad if combat wasn't turn-based, but it is, and it's slow. This won't hit you immediately, but believe me, it will. And once it does, the following information will make sense. Hello, future viewer. Like you, I have also had a mental breakdown after watching combat animations for many hours. So, I've installed the Wizardry 8 speed mod to quicken animations. I'm running Wiz 8 fast at 625 times speed, and I'm simultaneously speed hacking the game with Cheat Engine at 3 times speed. And it's still slow, but don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean combat is easy. It's absolutely the opposite. It's sadistically hard. It doesn't care, and it's going to keep beating you until you break.
She was a saint! A saint!
Sure, you can put down the difficulty. You're still gonna get shredded by the 10+ juggernauts that just came out of camouflage. The only way to avoid dismemberment is to play intelligently. This game is a constant battle of overwhelming odds versus your own capacity to game the system. To charge the juggernauts is suicide. They swing potentially 3 times a turn, and they're not stupid. They're gonna surround you, flank you, and hack your spellcasters to pieces. Positioning is important. Instead of charging, we herd them into a checkpoint. Their numbers become worthless, and we reduce the fight into a glorified meat grinder. And that's not hyperbole. Enemies get visibly wounded the more you hurt them. It provokes a very Pavlovian response as I get satisfaction from seeing whatever has inconvenienced me get reduced to a bloody pulp. Other times I'm left thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, please stop. Just put him out of his misery, as I'm beating a bandit so hard that we've ripped the very skin off his face, and his skull is visibly poking through the flesh. Tactics are important. Your fighters do most of the damage. Your mages control the battlefield. Why deal with a crowd when you can make the crowd insane and kill each other in a psychotic rage? And if that doesn't work, paralyze them, curse them, give them topical dermatitis, make them throw up, and induce nausea. You know the best way to stop an animal attack? Diarrhea. Because it's very hard to focus on anything when your ass is exploding. However,
facts. I have big stomach problems. That's a fact. Okay.
Any status that affects enemies can affect you as well. And you'll find it's very hard for your party to focus when they're in the process of getting vored and digested by wild animals.
Something's different, but I can't put my finger on it.
Luckily, combat is extremely rewarding. You only have to win a couple of fights appropriate to your level to level up. With that comes increased stats, skills, and spells to expand your options. Also, the game gets harder. Early game might be spent on the verge of death, but given time, you'll find that this is a constant state of tension, except you're no longer afraid of it. Instead, you learn to enjoy it and even revel in the act as you realize you're quite good at it. I do, however, have some critique. 1. Traps. Traps are randomized, and one of them stole 90% of my current assets. Philosopher's Bane turns your gold into lead, and I forgot to quick save. On the other hand, my critique is also praise, because traps are a perfect example of how goddamn good the sound design is in this game. First, you gotta tumble around to try and guess the mechanism. Next, you need to try and disarm them one at a time. Listen to this. The sound is so goddamn crispy that you can physically feel the tension as your rogue fiddles with the machinery, which can snap at any given moment. Good God, I love it.
That's
Just
cool.
remember to save. 2. Lockpicking. Lockpicking is not based. It is cringe. It is an endless hell of clicking tumblers to make them rise, only to watch the rest fall as you persist in your futile struggle. Which is why I strongly recommend you use earth magic to magically hold the tumblers, because otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. 3. Pickpocketing. Don't even bother, because it's fucking broken. No one's really sure how it works, but you can't save scum, and the responses are hard-coded. It's actually almost creepy. I once pickpocketed an NPC 5 times with the same negative outcome, only to reload the quick save and discover that the NPC was missing, or rather that they were deleted from my save file, as if to send me a message. I know this sounds like I'm losing it, and you don't have to believe me, because I managed to record the whole thing. 4. Other weird shit that happens. I used to think you couldn't alt-tab out of this game, because alt-tabbing breaks the keyboard. Turns out it doesn't. You just have to hit the alt key once again. How could you know this? You can't. How did I learn this? I smashed my keyboard and it worked. Then I reduced the surface area of my fist, smashed keys at random until, through order of elimination, found the secret combination. This game has several features on the level of esoteric knowledge. That is to say, nobody knows shit. Wizardry 8 is absolutely fantastic. Yes, there's annoying bullshit to deal with, but hey, it's almost 2 decades old and released in less than ideal circumstances. That's why there's still a fucking hardware advert that pops up whenever you try and close the game, because the publisher was broke and the developer was about to be. So they had to shill out, buy advertising, higher FPS in a turn-based RPG where FPS doesn't matter. On the other hand, holy shit, that advert aged well. They still exist to this very day. Pre-built computers? Now that's a future-proof business model, not some turn-based PTSD simulator that blew its entire poly count on jiggle physics. This game will try to break you. It'll spit in your mouth, call you names, and crush your self-esteem. But if you persist, that's when real satisfaction kicks in. When you're no longer at the mercy of its bullshit. It's the feeling of control. And let me tell you, it is an all-encompassing, intoxicating sensation. I give Wizardry 8 an extremely high score. I also give it 80% off on GOG, because I have that power. All this for about $2. If it sounds like something you'd enjoy, give it a try. An average playthrough will run you anywhere between 100 to 150 hours of game time. And given the vast range of builds and character classes, it is very much replayable, preferably with breaks of several years in between. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one, stay safe, and please enjoy the credits.
He seems like a kind, generous soul. I hate him.
What do you want? If it walks, I can change that.
I'm burning to kill.
You gotta admire the guy. He didn't let a little thing like being dead slow him down one bit!
So now I'm a Templar Rapax. All my childhood dreams have come true.
Oh, great! Swimming! I hate swimming! I didn't come a million miles to get all soggy!
I'm filled with glee. We won. I think we can make an all-right universe if we put our minds to it. Chaos. Woohoo!
Death has taken him. Lucky fellow.
You know, they said I was crazy when I told them I'd take over the universe one day.
Ow! Master, it is my duty to report a life form disappearance.
You know, that was the single most traumatic moment of my entire life. I'm not a man to hold resentments. I like to forgive. Maybe you could expedite that process a little by, you know, a cash settlement.
His death comes as a surprise. He showed so many traits of a strong alpha male. We got it! Now let's get out of here before bells and buzzers go off. I'd hate for this to turn into some kind of bloodbath, yeah. Hate it.
You know, when someone gets a big kill like that, his friends usually pitch in with some kind of reward. Really, they do.
Ooh,
do they now?
your sacrifice.
Damn it, now it's the samurai.
Taken care of.
Ah, beautiful choice.
Demon worshipper, man.
I have been transfixed by the demoness and used for her sport. It's like a beautiful dream. Wait!
Didn't see anything.
I have a confession. You recall that Rapak's demoness that suffice it to say that she has bewitched me somehow. If I leave this place, I suffer the torments of the damned. The only way to stop it, I am afflicted. The demoness possesses me no longer. Why is it that all my affairs end in bloodshed?
You can't con a con, Savant. And you can't steal from a thief. But you can kill a killer. Especially if you're me. Good night.
Good night. Jesus. When he asked if it's your type of game you can play, I don't think it's my type of game. I like myself some choices, but not that many. I don't know. Kind of turns me around from it. I don't know why. Just how I work. But the game seems incredibly, like, I can actually say expensive in a way. I'm curious if it's 8th in the Wizardry series. I don't know. Was there ever a 9? Because I've never heard about the game. So I guess that might be it. That'll be a shame, because I just can't. I was reveling in the video because it's so complex. There's so many things for 2000 and what? When did it come out? He said it's almost 2 decades. And the video came out in 2020, right? Yeah. So is it 2001? There's so much voice acting that possibly was done by what is this? What? Okay. The phone is fucking around with me. Wizardry 8. I have no idea why I'm saying Space Hitler. Now it was more or less normal, right? Who cares? Come! Did I lose internet connection? I guess I don't need to watch a video anymore, so it doesn't much matter. But the Google doesn't load. Okay, fine. Maybe it loads while I'm talking, but still, let's say 2001, because it said almost like 2001, let's say up to 2003. It was done in 2000s, right? I don't know. It looks much more complex than, like, I'm playing Final Fantasy IX right now. You can join me on my streams, but I feel like this game, I guess you can't really compare. Final Fantasy IX probably has a bigger map and like overall, but this has like voice acting, which that's missing. So I'm voice acting everybody, give them the voices. So if you have a favorite character in there, don't come to the stream because I'm probably gonna butcher their voice or the way you think they're sound. Anyway, stop about me. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's insanely cool. Just again, it's not my type of game to play, but so many choices. The fact you can add the faces, I have to make the animations yourself, but still, it's pretty cool. I guess it's weird. Maybe that's why it didn't catch on. So am I offline? The internet seems fine. It loads the clicky click, but my phone doesn't work. What is happening? Okay, so it stopped loading so you can load. It has great reviews on Steam and like Game Mania. Igramania, it's a Russian thing. 8.9 there and 9 on Steam. 2001 in November. Jesus! Yes, it is 8th in series. I'm not sure if it's 8th of games because the first one is 1980. Second one, no, that's Icewind Dale for some reason. Oh, there's the second one, 1982. 8th and final title. Oh, and final, so okay. In series of role-playing video games by Sirtag Canada, it is the third in the Dark Savant trilogy. Oh. So maybe the Space Hitler comes up in like previous two games and there's more about him, and then they finish him off in this one. Wizardry 6, Bane of Cosmic Forge, and Wizardry 7, Crusaders of the something. Of the Dark Savant. Just below. 2001. Holy shit. I'm just... Sorry. I'm gonna end the video here because I'm saying the same thing over and over again. It's already half an hour long. Well, the video is only 23 minutes. But I'm just fascinated by things like that. Like, people were ahead of their time, I think. And I don't know how big Canada was in gaming industry. Maybe that's why. Maybe in 2000, obviously it was more difficult to not to give away games like the transfer games because they're only physical copies, right? So it was probably more difficult to get games to different countries. From Canada is probably easy to get to USA, but anywhere else, only if people would ask for it. Only if I'm trying to remember a word, but I can't. Okay, like, okay, I'm gonna leave this here after one last question. If you know anything about like the story of developing, I guess maybe sales, you can tell me in the comments below if you want, because I am fascinating. I don't know if I can try finding it on Google, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if there is enough information because again, it's 20 years. It's very close to being 20 years old, only a couple months away. But yeah, I don't know, it's incredible. I should shut the fuck up and thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Have a great life because one of us has to. This game is pretty, again, not my, but I would love to watch somebody play. Goodbye.